welcome to the Podnas with Phace, Pat, and Tiz.
Storytime with Pat.
Yay!
Here we go.
All right, so I'm gonna have to set up a couple of things for this story. At this time, as Phace was talking about earlier, we were living in Mallory and Hampton at this time. So it's around like the 2009, 2008.
Was I still there or was I in Atlanta?
2010. I think you just left.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you just left. Or whatever.
Oh man.
So, viewers, just to let you know, I have a homeboy named Twin. Grew up with him in our neighborhood of Deep Creek in Chesapeake. Long story, Twin is kind of like the nerd version of Phace. Like he watched horror movies, deep voice, talk, chills, introverted, keeps to himself, pretty much, whatever. So, Twin had this friend named Kim. So he had to pick her up one time for some reason. I don't know. I just know when we picked her up, she said, "Hey, I feels like I still got duct tape on my back from when I was having sex earlier."
Say what?
And to this day, I have never forgot that. I'm like, how do you start a conversation like that? Wait a minute.
Yeah, it's pretty cray-cray.
Why did you have duct tape?
Ma'am, good evening. We usually start this off. How are you? My name is...
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is...
Some form of normal pleasantries. Like, what?
So, we'll say she was like a black goth type chick.
Okay.
Kind of like that, kind of remind me of like, the skinny black porn stars that they just skinny and they into extra shit.
Because I did everything right away.
Mm-hmm.
Like I did DPs and anal and gangbangs and whatever.
Kind of like that. So, what was it? Fast forward, that was like a couple of years back. So when I was actually like 2009 chilling with Phace, I think it was like around the first couple of months of the year that we were actually, settled in and everything. She was in town. She was living in the Newport News or whatever, and just saying, "Hey, come by and visit and everything." And we check her out. Because she said she had salvia and ecstasy and shrooms. I was just going to say, stop by to say hi, go about my business, and then we want to go out like we normally do. Now, this was before the time people really knew about salvia, whatever, which would have been probably great if we saw them crazy videos of people tripping out on salvia before we got into it.
Please! You fucking bitch!
Okay, now you need to...
Oh, Darwin! Brandon, I can see all this stuff!
You can see, Brandon.
Fuck, what the fuck? Why did you do this to me?
Dude.
Ah! Why'd you do this to me? Please stop it!
Brandon,
Stop, everybody!
you guys need to hold him. Like,
You guys
seriously.
fucking stop. Like, honestly, this is... Oh my god.
Much. But me and Phace, because I'm snitching, me and Phace went over or whatever, and they was like, this is how they sold us. Nah, man, it's legal weed. You can take it. So me and Phace, we thinking, well, we're smoking regular just weed. So what this shit's gonna do, right? So they said they had a particular ritual on the way you should do it. Like you grind it up, put it in a pipe, and you smoke, but you lay back with it, and then once you lay back, then you come right back up or whatever. In my mind, I'm already having like like alarms, alerts in my head saying, "Hey, if this legal weed and this ain't that bad, like why do I have to have a whole ritual to take it?"
I've seen some things, man, and some stuff. I wouldn't recommend it.
But I was like, well, they seem to be all right, so we'll just get into it. Mind you, meanwhile, Kim's boyfriend at the time was walking around on shrooms,
talking in slow motion the whole time. Excuse me. He wasn't walking, he was crawling around. He was
literally talking like that the whole time. It was just more and more shit. So when I took it, came back up, hallucinated, everybody was made up of lights in my hallucination. Like everything, it was like I was looking into somebody and then I would go deeper and deeper. I look at these cells and then everything just like looked like everybody was made out of little lights. All of these cells were like little lights. But I think if I remember straight, Phace said it looked like everybody was made up of little versions of themselves. Like if you seen that, what was it, that episode of Family Guy where all the people in the wheelchairs came together and made one wheelchair person?
Men, form up Crippletron!
That's what Phace said his hallucination was. All right. So it don't stop there, right? So I'm like, okay, this guy's tripping, this guy's going out. I think it's about time to go or whatever. So she was trying to convince me, hey, you just try X, pretty much. Well, it was like, I made the excuse like I don't really got the money for it. I got money for it because we're going to the club later on. Pretty much. And I was like, no, I don't got the money for it. And I gotta drive, so and here comes Phace. Nah, I got you, bro. I got you right here. Here you go. Go ahead.
And you never paid for drugs. Not once.
And I'm sitting there. Things haven't kicked in. I'm still kind of off on the salvia. This girl kid wants to, in her boy shorts, she's doing this like glow show, like glow stick dad show thing to try to trip me out. And she's doing that, sitting Indian style, doing that shit in front of my face. And I'm like, all right, I kinda already went over my trip and shit. This shit ain't gonna, like, the X thing kicked in just yet. And you got your whole half a cooch hanging out with your boy shorts all the time. I don't know if you noticed, but you're doing this in front of me and your boyfriend is like walking on the floor.
or talking in slow motion the whole time. Chopped and screwed.
Anyway, so they still want to go out. So we're driving from Newport News to Virginia Beach. For the people that don't know, that has to be about a 30 to 45-minute drive. I'm in my passenger side of my car tripping because all the lights are moving fast or whatever, and it's starting to slowly kick in. And Phace is probably doing what he's doing right now and laughing at me while we're playing music, getting up there. We went to Hammerheads. I don't know what it's called right now. It's still out there right now, but I don't know what it's called right now. But we went to Hammerheads, and yeah, he was tripping. I think he, once again, to increase how fucked up I was, gave me a shot of Bacardi 151 also that night. Everything was in slow motion. Everything. And Phace was always there with that same smile that he always had. All right. So we go to the dance floor. We go to the dance floor and shit. And it was these two girls, right? It was this one real thick ass girl and this one like skinny girl or whatever. And I don't know, for some reason they were like both looking at my ass at the time or whatever. And I don't know, one of the girls looked like they were trying to show off their dance moves or some shit or whatever in front of me. And then, you know, me and Phace is just chilling. He's smoking a cigarette and I'm still trying to drink whatever little drink he gave me or whatever. Then the girl bumped into the other girl. The thick girl bumped into the other girl by mistake or whatever. So they said some words to each other. I don't know, I guess they left it alone or whatever. So I think she bumped into the girl again and the girl threw her drink on the big girl. All right. So, okay. So the big girl, man, now all right, y'all know that game, Marvel vs. Capcom? It's one of my favorite games. I always used to pick Wolverine all the time. All right. Sometimes Wolverine, he has this move where he goes, jumps, climbs on the person's back, and start clawing the person on the back. I tell you, the big girl jumped on the skinny girl back and looked like Wolverine jumping on Juggernaut, but a skinny Juggernaut and just... I'm like Hulk smack. Smash like on the girl back and flung me around. Now I'm zooted. I'm just looking at this shit all in slow motion. Phace had to yoke me from the side and move me to the side because I'm still the whole time and shit. And we just watching this shit fly out in front of me or whatever. I still don't know what's going on. And I'm using less words when I talk, pretty much, whatever. But this other girl that I was eyeing the whole time, pretty much, she was there. And I don't know what it was. Probably was the ecstasy and the amount of paraphernalia I intake that day. Just made me bold enough to go, hey, and, you know, dance with her. In my mind, right, I said, hey, do you want to dance, right? What I actually said when I walked up to her was,
Dance.
Like it was like, hey, do you want it? And the only thing that popped out of my mouth was
dance.
Or whatever. That's how less control of my body I had. But it worked because I ended up dancing and everything. And I got a number and everything, but she had like a Navy dude or whatever, so I ain't really like go too far with that, pretty much. But we still ended up getting home because we always end up getting home. But yeah, I was fucked up that night. I was surprised. Did I throw up that night? That might have been one of the few nights I didn't throw up, though. I'm proud of myself for that. But I felt like Rick James.
I'm one of the baddest motherfuckers of all time. One of the best singers, one of the best looking motherfuckers you've ever seen. Hold my drink, bitch.
I straight up felt like Rick James. I am not encouraging anyone to do all of that stuff.
I'm in love with Mary Jane.
But I felt like Rick James that night.
Thanks, man. I'm Rick James, bitch. Enjoy yourself.
And I will never do that shit again. Ever. Ever the fuck ever. I don't got no control over your body. And everything was just lights and flashing and big titty bitches jumping on skinny bitches and beating them down and stuff. And yeah, that was my life in my 20s living with Phace. More of the story is... Yeah, kids don't do drugs and shit and be responsible, man.
That's the moral of that story?
There is no fucking moral to that story. The moral of the story is if you have confidence in yourself, you can pull anything off.
I'm just listening, trying to figure out how much of this I'm going to actually be able to use in any format that we are on. Oh, my God. This nigga literally went through the gambit of shit that we should not be talking about. Like every deep vessel of all of them. Like